Today we are going to see serializability concept in database management system. Indeed, this serializability is the concept that ensure that all the transactions are executed in a concurrent manner. That means none of the transaction overlap. That always it is trying to ensure the isolation property of this ACID property so that the execution would be in a serial manner. None of the operations overlap with other operations. So this serializability is the concept which examines how the database system can carry out this task. So that means it is we have to understand which schedules, that is a group of transaction, will ensure consistency and which type of schedules will not follow the consistency. So actually this serializability is a concept which helps us to check which schedules are serializable. That means how we can ensure the concurrency of this execution of these transactions. There are two forms of serializability. They are conflict serializability and view serializability. So in conflict serializability, the orders, that is, it means it will order the way how these instructions to be executed in a non-serial in a serial manner, so that none of the operations overlap. So suppose if you have a pair of operations that is said to be conflict, how when we can call these two operations are conflict operations, that means these two operations work on the same data of X, and out of which these two operations one should be the write operation. For example, in transaction T1 you have read on X and transaction T2 read on X. That means see, these two are read operation on same data X. Since these two are read operation, these don't have any conflict, it will not affect our transaction. At any way these two can be read. It is only a read operations. This is not going to change the data anyhow. See here, the second one is again same data X and X. There are two transactions T1 and T2, and out of which one is write operation, another is read operation. So these two operations working on same data, two different transaction is a conflict transaction. That means out of these two operations, one is write operation, so it is an conflict operation. And the next one is T1 is read operation, T2 is write operation, again working on same data, two different transaction, out of which one is write operation. So this is also a conflict operation. This is a problem. And another possibility is T1 write and T2 also write operation working on same data. This is also a problem, out of which at least one is write operation, means these are the conflicting operations. So T1 and T2, now we can say it's a conflict because order of at T1 T2 should be in a such a way that it should be serialized to avoid the conflict, so that concurrently these two operations can be executed. So we can see once again, since these two are read operation on the same data X, even though these two are two different transactions, read of if these two transactions have read operations, so there is no conflict. But here out of these two operations, T1 is write operation followed by T2 read operation on the same data, it's a conflict operation. The third one also, first T1 is read operation and T2 is write operation on the same data. So this is also a conflict because out of these two, one is an write operation. And here both are the possibilities, both would be an write operation on the same data. This is also a conflict operation. Finally, it is to be noticed that when two operations are said to be conflicting operations, that operations should follow the following three conditions. Then we can say these two are the two conflicting operations. First one is both these operations belong to different transaction. It may be one from T1, another from T2. And the operation should be on the same data. Both should operate on the same data. If it is different data, then it won't be a conflicting operations. And at least one of these two operation must be a right operation. Then we can say these two operations are conflicting operations.